Hello and welcome to New York Session live stream. And the candles in GBP, JPY, and in gold are about to close in 8 minutes. And I am basically planning my buys if we break above 162.700 area. And let's see if we will break above this area, and we will just wait in here. And in gold we basically have done a fake out below this area, continued pushing up and created a small resistance in M15 time frame. For buys we need to break above 1766 area, and for now there are chances that we can continue pushing down, but we will just wait at this point. H1 candle is about to close. We will just wait in here because candles are about to close, and I am planning to delete my buy stop for now. I wanted to see how current 15-minute candle will close, and I may re-add my buy stop later on. At this point we are waiting for candles to close. In my opinion, GBP JPY has moved 300 pips up in the anticipation of rate hikes, the news that is coming tomorrow. So the prices are already priced in, the rates are already priced in, that's my opinion. And we are waiting for current 15-minute candle to close in about 5 minutes. We are just waiting, although we can break above highs in the last 5 minutes of this candle, but executing at this point will be risky. Yeah, in gold the candles are flipping bullish. We may get to execute a buys above this area, 1767 area, because in 20 minutes we will be heading to a high volume times. Alright, candles are about to close and we are breaking above highs in last 3 minutes, and I am waiting for candles to close. I will execute on next candle. 3 minutes left in candles to close. Alright, we have broken above the highs and candle is about to close in 2 minutes. If we executed on this trade, we will be in 4 pips profit at this point, but I decided to wait for this trade. I am basically waiting for this trade from past few hours. Later it played out, but the timing was not accurate. It is now in 6 pips profit, and we are waiting for candles to close in about 2 minutes. Yeah, we basically have broken above all those areas and we are coming back down. It was a pretty good decision to wait for candle to close, and candle is about to close now, and I will execute on next candle. Wait for 20 more seconds. Alright, we have closed above all the wicks to the left, and now there is very high probability for prices to keep pushing up 30 pips, but I want a little bit of lower wick first, but that may not happen, and yeah, it is not happening. So basically waited for this trade for almost 5 hours. It appeared, but it didn't give us any chance to execute. This is the way things are in Forex. Alright, the trade we were anticipating from the start of London session played out perfectly, but we didn't get to execute on this trade because we where will our stop loss go if we execute right in here? Once we start breaking above the highs, our stop loss will be around 25 pips. That's my reason to avoid this trade, and we will now wait. That trade basically played out perfectly, didn't execute it on it. I was waiting for a low formation because H1 candle is moving up with no bottom wick, which is not a good sign. So I was waiting for the creation of that bottom wick so that I can execute, but this is the way things are. And in gold we are just consolidating. We are basically rejecting from 162.900 area. It is a 17 pips of rejection. We can't execute a trade at this point, although it is now at our entry point. Nothing in gold and in GBP JPY at this point, although we moved up, but that move occurred in first few minutes of this H1 candle. Yeah, first 4 minutes. And we are now rejecting from 162.900 area. M5 candle has closed bearish. We don't have a lower wick on this candle at this point. And in gold, let's wait for current M15 candle to close, and in 10 minutes Comet Comics will open, and then maybe we can find a trade, but for now we are waiting. No, we are not selling anything, we will just wait. We are waiting for current M15 candle to close, and yeah, basically it will serve the basis where prices will go. So we need to wait for 10 minutes on this thing, and in GBP JPY we are rejecting. The whole problem with this trade is that the H1 candle don't have a lower wick. The low in H1 candle is not created. So the problem is, if I execute on this trade to potentially hit this target point, there is probability we will drop to create for creation of 1 hour low. So that's why we are just waiting. And yeah, good evening, bro. All right, we will execute once we break below these lows again in 5 minutes. I am waiting for current 15-minute candle to create a high first and then continue pushing up after this, continue pushing down after this M15 candle is M5 candle is closed in around 4 minutes, because in 4 minutes Comet Comics will open, so there is probability we will get good trade. Yeah, the high is now created in M15, waiting for candle to close, M5 candle to close. Candle is now moving deep inside the range. If we break below the wicks on next M5 candle, I will execute a position. Yeah, right in here. If we look at H1 candle, the H1 candle has flipped bullish at this point, but we don't know how M15 and M5 candle will close, so we are waiting for M5 candle to close. If on the next M5 candle we starts to break below the lows, I will execute shorts. And for buys we need to wait. We will execute buys above 1770 area. Yeah, we basically saved ourselves from lot of trouble because our sell idea didn't work out, and there is no point of executing a sell at this point because we have now broken above the range. We have broken above the range, and there is no point of placing a sell stop below 1763. Now we need to wait for current M15 candle to close. We may execute buys above 1770 area to potentially get around 30-40 pips from the trade, but for that we need to wait. GBP JPY, basically I was planning my buys, but the whole idea was the H1 low for now is not created. I was waiting for that low to be created so that I can execute a position. And although prices went in my favor, but I didn't execute it on this trade. I waited for this trade a lot. We were waiting for this trade from London session, but when it appeared, it just didn't give us enough confirmations. The M30 candle has broken above the highs. We are waiting for this M15 candle to close. We can execute buys above 1770 area or above 1766 area, but it all depends upon how a current M15 candle will close. Yeah, we basically moved back inside the range, waiting for this M15 candle to close. To wait for 7 more minutes. There is lot of volume in market at this point. We moved straight up till 1770 area, and now we are waiting for some sort of confirmation so that we can place our buy stop. And the H1 candle has flipped all the way bullish. The H4 candle has a lower wick and now it is trying to close bullish. H4 candle will close in 33 minutes. And yeah, yeah, we are just waiting in here. This week, excellent trade setups are occurring later in New York session and in Asian session. This week, very little patterns appeared in New York session or in London session. So it is all part of the game and we are okay with that. Waiting for current 15-minute candle to close. Yeah, 15-minute candle has now closed. In M30 we have closed with the gap. Let's look at news. If we look at news, there is no news but still there is a small gap. And we are also approaching 1770 area, a rejection area, so we can't place buys, nor do we nor we can place sells in here. All we can do at this point is to just wait. Yeah, we are trying to break above 1770 area. But again, we are trying to break above this area in first 2 minutes of M30 candle. So we need to wait at this point. In GBP JPY, maybe wait for retest of 162.600 area, wait for some sort of support formation and may execute a trade later on, but we need to wait. We are also waiting in gold, nothing much of interest at this point. Even if we execute buys in this area, we can get like 10-12 pips, but the whole problem is we can reject anywhere from here, so waiting at this point makes more sense. Although the candles are bullish and everything is bullish, and I was waiting for previous M15 candle to close somewhere around here and I may be able to execute, but the whole idea was the candle closed near around 1768 area and the next candle started moving up with little to no lower wick. So basically we didn't get a chance to execute. We are just waiting in here. We need to wait a lot today. And in my opinion, the probability of finding a trade is now very lower. we have very we are just waiting in here, and there is low probability that we will find a good trade today, and maybe today is no trade day. And yes, we are waiting, though we are waiting for good trades. Waiting in gold and in GBP JPY, nothing in both these pairs so far.